They didn't start the channel with plans of fame. It was just something to do between lectures, after classes, before sleep. They called it Campus Queens because that's how they felt. 3 girls ruling their own little world from the top bunk of Block C, room 218. Ify was the star. Even if she entered a room with 50 girls, her voice was the first thing you'd hear. Loud, funny, pretty in a she-knows-it kind of way. Her laugh could silence a room, and her rants could go viral. Tamara was the cool one, stylish without effort, always on trend. She was the editor, the brain, the one who knew how to turn chaos into content. It was Tamara who convinced them to get a ring light, Tamara who designed the logo, Tamara who studied the algorithm like her life depended on it. And then there was Soma, quiet, watchful, always behind the scenes. Soma wrote most of the skits. She drafted the ideas in a brown spiral notebook with torn corners and water stains from spilled tea. It was her soft voice you heard directing scenes. She handled the upload schedules, the captions, the emails. She was the machine nobody clapped for. But she didn't complain, at least not at first. When they hit their first 10K subscribers, Ify popped juice sachets like champagne and screamed until the porter knocked. When a small Lagos hair brand reached out to Tamara for a collab, they all screamed like it was a family victory. Soma was the one who replied the brand's email, edited the shoot, and mailed the video on time. They posted 4 times a week, shot content in the scorching sun, used old wigs and thrifted clothes, and begged classmates to help film. They were tired, but they were happy. Or so it seemed. Until Soma noticed that the login to the Campus Queen's email had been changed. She asked. Tamara said, "Oh, I thought I sent you the new password. Sorry, Jare." It was small, just a moment, but something in Soma's stomach shifted. That same week, a skincare brand reposted their reel but tagged only Tamara and Ify. She asked again. "Oh, it was a mistake." Ify waved it off. "They probably forgot to tag all of us. You know these brands, nah?" But that was the beginning. Behind the smiles and matching outfits, something had started to rot, and in the corner of the room where the ring light stood tall and proud, Soma sat quietly, notebook in hand, recording everything they forgot she saw. Soma didn't hate the camera. She just never needed to be in front of it. Until now. Until she realized the camera could lie. It started with the email. That brand, Globe Skincare, they had replied. Soma knew. The next day, she tried to open the Campus Queen's email again. Still locked out. She texted Tamara once. No reply. Texted again. Blue tick. No response. She didn't ask a third time. Instead, that night, Soma stayed up after lights out, while Ify snored and Tamara hummed to Afrobeats through her AirPods. Soma opened her old laptop and went digging. She wasn't sure what she was looking for, but she found something. The Campus Queen's YouTube channel had been linked to a separate AdSense account, not the one they had created together in that cyber cafe near First Gate. A new one, under Tamara's name. She blinked, refreshed, checked again. AdSense account, tamaravisuals@gmail.com. The money had been coming in. Their last 4 viral videos had earned them almost $800, and she had no idea. By the time morning came, Soma didn't cry. She didn't scream. She cooked Indomie. She cleaned her side of the room. Then she left the hostel without saying a word. She went to the studio of an old friend, Chima, one of the boys who used to help them hold the camera during their first shoots. She had once helped him pass a course by rewriting his seminar report. "Help me set up a new channel," she said, eyes steady. "No skits," she added, "just raw footage, behind the scenes, and truth." Chima blinked. "Soma, are you okay?" "I'm about to be." That weekend, Campus Queens posted a new video. Ify wore a red jumpsuit, lips glossy. Tamara did voiceovers. In the video, they joked about the lazy friend in every group. The comment section roared with laughter. Nobody knew they were mocking Soma. But she knew. She watched it alone, heart thudding, then opened her new channel, Soma Unfiltered. The first post? A 13-second clip. No music, just raw footage. Tamara, off camera. "I'm not doing this again if she's the one editing it. Her transitions are so dry. Can't she even learn something online?" Then Ify, laughing. "Forget that girl, I beg. She'll still do it. That's what she's good for." The video spread like wildfire. That clip was from 6 months ago. Soma had saved it, when she still thought they were her sisters. By evening, Soma's name was trending. People were shocked. Fans demanded answers. Bloggers picked it up. Then came the real shocker. A leaked screenshot of the actual payment receipt from Globe. It was addressed to only Tamara and Ify, and below the payment amount was a note. "Please remember not to tag your third member as discussed." Soma didn't post that. She had never seen that email. Someone else did. Tamara's ex-boyfriend. Apparently, she had broken his heart. And she'd sent him all her passwords when they were still together. He sent the screenshot to Soma with a simple message: "Finish them." That night, Soma didn't sleep. Not because she was sad, but because, for the first time, she was planning her own rise. And it wouldn't be pretty. They didn't know it yet, but Soma was no longer fighting for justice. She was planning her own rise, and this time, it wasn't behind the camera. The moment that screenshot leaked, she knew the public sympathy was only temporary. People forget fast. Outrage fades. But legacy? Legacy is built. So while Tamara and Ify scrambled to do damage control, filming teary-eyed apology clips and reposting fan art, Soma got to work. She booked a room at the old mass comm studio, the one most students didn't even know still worked. She called Chima again. "Set up the lights. I'll wear my truth." No wig, no lashes, no filters. She recorded a single-shot video. "I was never the star of Campus Queens," she said, staring into the lens. "I was the light that made them shine, and when they got their moment, they turned it off on me." Pause. Then, "But I'm not here to expose them anymore. I'm here to show you who I really am." She had found old files, raw footage that never made it to Campus Queens, skits she wrote, never used, fashion DIYs, her personal vlogs, her real voice. She began to upload them, one per day, like puzzle pieces. But behind the scenes, she was building something else. She created an online portfolio, branded herself as a content developer and skit consultant, quietly reached out to up-and-coming creators, sent DMs with links to her work, booked her first paid gig anonymously. Her new page? Not skits. Just raw, beautiful, intentional content. But the best part? Soma had footage, a lot of it. And one video had never been seen, not even by her. It was from a test shoot 3 months back. Her camera had been rolling by accident. It caught Tamara on the phone, pacing the room. "If Soma ever tries rubbish, I'll ruin her," I'll tell everyone what she did first year. That thing she told me in confidence. She'll cry blood. Soma hadn't known she was being blackmailed in advance. Now she did. She didn't post the video, not yet. She smiled at her laptop. She was done playing backup. This was her channel now. The truth didn't scare Soma anymore. For the first time in years, she wasn't hiding. She wasn't hoping to be picked. She had picked herself, and the whole campus was watching. But on the other side of the hostel, Tamara wasn't sleeping. She stared at her phone screen for hours, scrolling through the backlash on their last post. The comments were now filled with questions. Why didn't you ever tag Soma? Is it true you took all the money? You people used her like she was your maid. She threw her phone aside and hissed. Let them talk. I know how to finish this girl. Tamara had always been like that. Smart, calculated. But she didn't know how to lose. She opened her notes app and copied an old voice note, the one Soma had sent her in year 1, shaking and crying, confessing how a lecturer had touched her thigh and threatened her grades. She had never deleted it. She was never the type to delete leverage. She sent the file to Ify with one line. If this thing goes further, we'll use this. Ify, meanwhile, had her own demons. Unlike Tamara, she wasn't a planner. She lived in the moment. Attention was her oxygen. She wasn't even in the campus queen's idea at first. It was Soma's concept. But Soma had insisted they bring Ify in, saying, she'll bring energy. People will love her. And they did. Ify's laugh, her outfits, the way she joked about campus boys and their audacity, everything about her trended. But behind closed doors, Ify often felt out of place. She didn't edit. She didn't write skits. She didn't even understand how to monetize content. Tamara always handled that. Soma always planned the ideas. Ify was just the face, and deep down she knew it. So when the betrayal started, when the emails were changed and deals went quiet, Ify stayed silent. She knew, but she didn't stop it. Now, guilt was knocking, and so was karma. Soma, on the other hand, wasn't focused on revenge. She was building her own platform, quietly, intentionally. The vlog she posted wasn't an attack. It was a confession, a lesson. She didn't call names, didn't cry. She just spoke. I once told a friend something in confidence, she said, looking straight into the camera, red lipstick bold against her bare face. She said she would help me. Instead, she used it to keep me quiet. She paused. I never spoke up because I was afraid of what people would say, but I'm done living in fear. Then she added something even her followers didn't expect. There are many girls like me, girls who hide pain behind the camera, behind smiles, behind skits. And that was when everything changed. The DMs flooded in, messages from other students, some anonymous. Thank you for saying this. This happened to me too. I never reported it, but I'm proud of you. Even lecturers, yes, some of them, reached out to say, well done. But the biggest shock came the next morning. Mr. Okwara, the lecturer Soma had mentioned in the vlog, was suspended. Not because of her video directly, but because another girl had gone to report him too. Her video gave someone else the courage to speak. And in that moment, Soma knew. This wasn't just content anymore. Back in the hostel, Ify sat alone, scrolling through Soma's video again. The room felt colder. Tamara was out as usual, trying to control damage. But Ify was beginning to crack. She picked up her phone, typed and erased, typed again, then, finally, sent it. Soma, can we talk? please." The message was seen, but no reply came. Not that night, not the next morning. Because now, Soma had choices. For 2 days, Ify didn't post anything. No reels, no soft live content, no POV, pretty girls don't stress, captions. Her page, once buzzing, went quiet. She couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Not because she was sorry for what they did to Soma, but because of what she knew was coming. Something she had buried years ago. She kept checking her phone, waiting for Soma's reply. Nothing. Soma had seen the message, left her on read, and somehow that hurt more than being dragged online. Tamara, on the other hand, was moving mad. She had dropped a voice note in the old Campus Queens group chat. "I swear, Ify, if we let this girl keep talking, she'll finish us. Should we drop that file or not?" Ify didn't reply. She was tired of pretending, tired of being Tamara's echo. On Thursday evening, the knock came. She was lying in bed in her oversized shirt, scrolling mindlessly, when it sounded 3 short knocks. She didn't answer immediately. She wasn't expecting anyone. Another knock. She dragged herself to the door and opened it. Her heart dropped. Standing there, dressed in a faded black shirt and jeans, was Uch, her ex, the one she hadn't seen in over a year, the one she had ghosted after everything happened. "Ifunanya," he said, voice quiet. "We need to talk." She didn't say a word, just stepped aside and let him in. They sat for a long time before he spoke. "I saw the video, Soma's and Tamara's nonsense post, and I just came to say one thing. Don't let Tamara push you into doing what she did to you." Ify blinked, confused. Uch leaned forward, eyes steady. "You know what I'm talking about." She looked down, said nothing. A year ago, Ify had confided in Tamara about something she'd never told anyone else. How Uch had gotten a scholarship abroad and begged her to wait for him. How she had felt insecure and unsure and ended up cheating on him with someone in Tamara's circle. She had cried to Tamara about it, and Tamara used it. At first, it was small things, reminding Ify to stay humble when she got attention online. Then when deals started coming, Tamara whispered, "Don't forget who covered for you that time, oh? You owe me." And Ify, out of fear, out of shame, did everything Tamara asked. Even when she saw how Soma was being edged out, even when she knew Tamara was collecting full payments and splitting only half, even when she hated herself for it. Now, Uch sat across from her, arms crossed. "I forgave you a long time ago, Ify. I'm not even angry, but if you let Tamara drag Soma through mud using a lie you gave in weakness, you're worse than I thought." His words cut. Ify's throat tightened. "I didn't know she still had the recording." He nodded, thoughtful. "She keeps everything. But now, everyone is watching. And the truth, your truth, might just be the only thing that can fix your name." He stood. "Ah, I just thought you should know, before she burns you too." And with that, he left. Ify stood at the door long after he was gone. She looked at herself in the mirror, the curls, the lip gloss, the cute anklet, but behind it all was a scared girl. A girl who let herself become background noise just to be liked. She picked up her phone again. This time, she didn't message Soma. She opened her camera, pressed record. No filter, determined. "My name is Ifunanya, and I have something to confess." The video dropped by 7:12 a.m. No intro, no background music, just Ify, sitting on the edge of her hostel bed, barefaced, eyes tired, voice steady. "I know you know me as the loud one, the one always laughing, dancing, looking pretty in skits, but let me tell you what you don't know. By 7:30 a.m., it was already trending on campus Twitter. She told everything. How Campus Queens wasn't her idea, how Soma did most of the creative work, how she noticed when they started tagging her and Tamara alone, how the emails were changed, how the payments were shared unevenly, and how she stayed quiet because Tamara made her feel like she couldn't stand alone. Then she paused, took a breath, and went deeper. I also want to confess something Tamara used to keep me silent. I cheated in my relationship. I did something I'm not proud of, and I told her in tears, hoping she'd be a friend. Instead, she turned it into a weapon. The silence at the end of the video was heavier than anything she had said. She looked into the camera, eyes glistening. I was part of the betrayal. I let it happen. I owe Soma. I owe myself. I'm sorry. She ended the video with just one sentence. Do what you will with this. By 9 a.m., the internet was on fire. Screenshots, quotes, campus blogs reposting the full clip with captions like, Ify spills it all, Tamara exposed. Campus Queen's breakup gets messier. The truth always comes out. Tamara saw the video halfway through breakfast. She was at a restaurant, halfway through pancakes when someone tagged her. She didn't finish eating. She didn't even pack her bag. She left her food and walked out, face hot, heart racing. In her room, Tamara paced, then screamed, then grabbed her laptop. She went to the Campus Queen's Google Drive. Folder by folder, she started deleting clips, backup reels, edits, captions, brand guides. But one thing stopped her. She clicked on a file titled Deck BTS. It was supposed to be bloopers, useless footage. She clicked anyway. Her face dropped. It was a recording of her talking to Ify during an old shoot, her voice loud and clear. Let her stay behind camera, I beg. Even if we tag her, who even cares about the girl that edits? If she vex, she can carry her poverty and go. Tamara froze. She didn't remember this being filmed. She didn't even know the camera was rolling. She checked the timestamp. Soma had filmed it, and she had saved it. Tamara panicked. Her fingers trembled. She deleted the clip. Too late, because that same file had already been uploaded to Soma Unfiltered 20 minutes earlier. No captions, no explanation, just the raw footage. By noon, Tamara's name was on everyone's lips. Her followers dropped, comments poured in. Even her editing page, Tamara Visuals, got flooded. Some still defended her, but most didn't. The video hit 88,000 views in under 5 hours. Soma said nothing. She didn't post, didn't comment, didn't even reference the confession. She was silent, and that silence became the loudest part of the whole story. Meanwhile, Ify turned off her phone for the rest of the day, not because she was hiding, but because, for the first time since Campus Queens began, she could breathe. Alone, unliked, unfollowed by some, but honest and free. By evening, the sun had dropped behind the hostel walls, casting a warm orange light into the hallway as Tamara stormed through the corridor like a loaded gun. Her hands were clenched, her wig was slightly off-center. She hadn't even worn slippers. She banged on Ify's door so hard that other girls popped their heads out. "Ifunanya, open this door! I swear to God, open this damn door!" Inside, Ify froze. She knew Tamara would come. She just didn't think it would be this fast. She opened the door slowly. "What?" Tamara didn't waste time. "You're mad, Abby. You're completely insane." She shoved her way into the room like she owned it. "You just opened your mouth and vomited everything online like it's popcorn? Who gave you the right to mention me? To drag my name?" Ify stood still, arms crossed. "I told the truth." Tamara laughed bitterly. "You're a coward. You didn't tell the truth because you wanted healing. You did it because you're scared, because you saw that the world was siding with Soma, and you didn't want to be left behind." "And you?" Ify asked, calm but firm. "What are you scared of, Tamara? That people finally see who you really are?" Tamara pointed a shaking finger at her. "I covered for you. I protected you. You begged me, remember? After you slept with that guy while dating Ooch, you cried in my arms like a baby. And I said the truth in my video," Ify shot back. "Everything. That's the difference between you and me. I'm done hiding." Tamara's voice cracked. "You think they'll love you after this? They'll still drag you. You'll still lose followers. You'll see." Ify stepped forward. "Maybe, but I'd rather be dragged than live in your shadow another minute." Tamara stared at her like she didn't recognize her anymore. Then, without a word, she turned around and slammed the door behind her. That night, Tamara sat alone in her room. No calls, no collab messages. Even the PR girl from Globe had ghosted her, so she made a decision. She deleted every Campus Queens video from her page, cleared all traces, then changed her bio. Founder, director, editor, creator, and beneath that, a new handle. At Tamara rebranded. She created a new page, new content, softer lighting, a fresh aesthetic. She called the channel Polished by Tamara. Vlogs, skincare, editing tutorials, motivational quotes. The comment section? Empty. The views? Flatlined. No one was watching. She reached out to a few micro-influencers to collaborate. Only one replied, and they asked, "Will Soma be part of this?" Tamara almost smashed her phone. The final blow didn't come from Soma or Ify. It came from someone else. Her name was Kiki, a name Tamara had forgotten. But Kiki hadn't forgotten her. Back in 100 level, before Campus Queens even existed, Tamara had taken part in a small campus competition, Content Creators Boot Camp. Everyone had to pitch an original skit and build their own brand page from scratch. Kiki had the best pitch, funny, sharp, smart. Tamara had no original idea, so she borrowed Kiki's, took the exact pitch, changed the name, and posted it first. When the judges called her out, she cried, said it was a coincidence. Kiki didn't win. She went silent. People forgot, but not her. Now, she was back, older, better, bigger. She had just signed with a Lagos creative agency, and her first video? A docu-style exposé titled "Stolen Ideas and Silent Thieves: What Really Happens on Campus." She didn't mention Tamara's name directly, but she showed the receipts, DMs, screenshots, time-stamped videos from 100 level, the pitch, the stolen format, the original video, everything. And in the final scene, she faced the camera and said, "To every girl who got stepped on while someone else climbed, this one is for you." By midnight, Tamara was trending again, not as a creator, as a thief. She deactivated her page by morning, but the screenshots, they lived on. Soma stood at her window, arms folded, watching the sun rise over the edge of the hostel wall. She hadn't posted in days, not because she didn't have content, she had more than enough. Not because she was scared, fear had left her a long time ago, but because she was unsure of what came next. The war was over. Tamara was gone. Ify had come clean. But something didn't feel finished. Campus Queens was still online, barely breathing but alive. The name still held weight. People still searched for it. A few fans even begged in her DMs. "Please reclaim it, Soma. You were always the real mind behind the channel. Don't let it die like this." She'd seen the messages. She'd ignored them. Because part of her wanted to delete everything. Burn the past. Start from scratch. New name, new brand, new everything. But another part, one she thought she buried, still felt the sting. the sting of being erased. That evening, Chima dropped by the studio. He had been her rock from the very beginning, never asking for anything, always present. "People are waiting, Soma," he said gently. "You've said your truth. You've exposed the lies. Now what do you want?" She looked up. "I don't know." "Do you want the crown or peace?" She laughed softly. "Can't I have both?" He leaned forward. "Not when your name is still tied to theirs." That hit her. The name, Campus Queens, still carried Tamara's shade. Ify's voice, the betrayal, the rot. Was it worth fixing? She didn't decide that night. Instead, she went back to her archive, footage no one had seen, content from the early days. She watched one old vlog, 3 girls on a hostel bunk, eating chin-chin, laughing off a failed skit. They looked happy, untouched, unaware. She paused the video, stared at her own face. "Did I lose her?" she whispered. Then came the message. Private, on Instagram, from a name she didn't expect to ever see again. Pamela. The girl she once considered a sister, before Tamara, before Campus Queens, before anything. Pamela had been her roommate in 100 Level. They started filming videos together before Tamara came into the picture. But somewhere along the line, Tamara had convinced Soma that Pamela was too dull, too local, bad for the brand. And Soma, wanting to be part of something greater, cut her off. Without a word, without a goodbye. And now, years later, Pamela had sent her a message. "I'm proud of you. Even if you didn't stand by me, I'm still rooting for you." Soma's heart cracked. She opened Pamela's profile. It was private, barely updated, but the bio said, "Creative director, freelance writer, still learning, still standing." Soma swallowed hard. That message shook her more than all of Tamara's insults put together. She typed, deleted, typed again, finally sent, "Can we talk?" Pamela replied in seconds. "Always." The next day, they met at a quiet cafe near the art department. It was awkward, silent at first, then Soma finally spoke. "I chose popularity over people. I saw you as disposable, and I'm sorry." Pamela looked at her, no malice in her face, just weariness. "I know, but you've changed, and I'm glad." They talked for almost 2 hours about the past, the betrayal, content creation, loneliness. And then Pamela said something Soma wasn't expecting. "What if you don't reclaim Campus Queens? What if you replace it with something better?" Soma blinked. "Oh, like what?" Pamela smiled. "Something that doesn't erase you, or anyone, again. A space for real creators, a real sisterhood. Not the fake ones we pretended to be." Soma stared at her. That was the moment the new idea was born. 3 days later, Soma posted again. Black screen, simple text. "Something real is coming. Stay ready. #TheReform." The caption read, "From the ashes of lies we build truth, not as queens but as creators. No crown needed." No skits, no drama, just intention. And this time she wasn't building alone. Soma sat on the floor of her hostel room, legs stretched, laptop open, fingers resting lightly on the keyboard. She wasn't editing. She was watching. An old video, one of the first. 3 girls sitting on a bunk, laughing so hard they couldn't finish their intro. Tamara in her loud voice shouting, "Lights, camera, madness." Ify in her pink bonnet, dancing off-beat, and Soma, barely visible, holding the camera from behind, peeking into the frame with a quiet smile. That was the first Campus Queens video, the beginning of everything. It wasn't just a YouTube group, it was their baby, their bond, their escape, a platform they built with 1,500 data plans and sheer hunger to be seen. They weren't from rich homes. They didn't have ring lights or paid editors, but they had each other, and the whole campus felt it. They were more than girls posting skits. They were a movement. When the scandal broke, when the truth about the money, the betrayal, the secrets came out, Soma didn't just lose friends, she lost a dream. That was why, when the DMs started coming, begging her to bring back campus queens, she didn't respond. Because they were asking her to return to a place where she was once invisible. They were asking her to go back, but they didn't know what it had cost her to leave. The campus queen's name still held weight. Old fans still reposted their throwback videos. Lecturers made references. New students still whispered about them in hostels. It was a brand, yes, but more than that, it was a memory. A memory Soma had to grieve before she could even think of rebuilding. That's why she ignored the comments at first, the DMs, even the emails from content agencies who saw potential in a rebrand. Pamela noticed. "You're holding back," she said one night as they sat in the editing room, sharing puff-puff and chilled water. Soma shrugged. "Maybe." "Because of them?" "No." Pause. "Because of me." Pamela looked at her. "You're not scared of Tamara anymore. So what are you scared of?" Soma hesitated. Then finally said it. "I'm scared that, no matter how good this is, they'll still say Campus Queens was the real thing. I don't want to be a sequel. I want to be something new." Pamela nodded slowly. "Then build new. But don't forget, you were always Campus Queens. They just never gave you your light." The next day, Soma opened her archive. Not the YouTube channel, the real archive, her hard drive. Hundreds of raw clips from the beginning. She found one file labeled visionboardcampusqueens.mp4. It was a video they'd recorded during lockdown when they had no content ideas. They had written down their future goals and read them aloud. Ify, "I want to be recognized on TikTok and walk runway shows." Tamara, "I want to direct a movie and get an influencer deal with a big brand, Glow Bay or something." Soma, "I want us to teach other girls how to start channels like this. I want us to hold workshops, train editors, and prove that campus girls aren't just pretty, they're powerful." She paused the video. Her own voice echoed back at her. Even then, she had wanted more than skits, more than followers. She had always wanted impact. So when the reform was born, it wasn't a rebrand of Campus Queens. It was a response to it. Campus Queens was flashy, funny, trendy. The reform was intentional, honest, human. They posted a new video titled, "Why We're Not Bringing Campus Queens Back." In the clip, Soma sat alone, no makeup, wearing the exact top she wore in their first ever skit. She spoke softly. "I know some of you want us to come back as Campus Queens. I know you miss the trio, the chaos, the chemistry, the story. But I need you to understand something. Campus Queens was built on a lie that looked beautiful, but made me feel small." She looked into the camera. "The truth is, I was never really part of the trio. I was behind the lens, behind the jokes, behind the login details. And when I finally found my voice, I was told to keep editing." She smiled sadly. "This new channel, it's not about replacing Campus Queens. It's about giving space to the girls who never even got to sit at the table." That video did not go viral. It didn't need to. The right people saw it, and that was all she needed. Meanwhile, Tamara, hidden away in her cousin's apartment, watched the clip on mute. Her chest tightened. It wasn't hate. It wasn't shame. It was loss. Deep, hollow loss. She had been so busy holding the spotlight, she didn't realize she was burning her own platform from beneath. She scrolled to the comments. One caught her eye. "You were never the star, Tamara. She was. You just had the louder mic." She locked her phone. No tears, just silence. Ify, however, watched the video twice, then opened her notes app, typed a caption, paused, backspaced it, then finally whispered to herself, "I hope she makes it. I hope they all do." She wasn't looking for a comeback anymore. She was trying to become the kind of friend she never was when it mattered. The stage lights were soft, intentionally so. No harsh beams, no over-filtered glow, just warmth. Soma stood backstage at the Lagos Creative Residency, hands cold, clipboard pressed to her chest. The mic felt heavier than expected. She hadn't touched one in over a year. Pamela was beside her, grounding her with that quiet, steady presence. "Breathe," she whispered. Soma nodded. Out in the auditorium, over 300 people were seated. Creators, brand heads, agency reps, and students who had followed the reform journey since the beginning. The theme of the panel? Turning pain into platforms. Soma wasn't nervous. She was present. She had already lived the story. Now she was ready to tell it. Her name echoed through the speakers. Next up, a digital storyteller who took the internet by storm. Not through controversy, but through courage, the co-founder of the Reform and the mind behind some of the most honest storytelling we've seen this year. Please welcome Soma Okezi. The applause was soft at first, then grew, not thunderous, not dramatic, but real. She stepped onto the stage. No glam team, no fake smile, just her, in a simple cream blouse and jeans, hair packed, earrings small. She took the mic and breathed. "My name is Soma," she began, "and I used to be behind the camera." A few chuckles, heads nodded, people leaned forward. "I was the one who edited the jokes, shot the scenes, wrote the lines, but never spoke in the frame, and for a long time I believed that was enough, until I realized I wasn't being humble, I was being erased." The room went still. "I helped build a YouTube channel that made people laugh, but behind the laughter was silence, mine. I had ideas, I had voice, but I handed them over every time I thought love came with conditions." She paused, the kind of pause that sits heavy. "But silence can rot you from the inside, so I chose noise." The audience exhaled with her. "I posted the truth, and it wasn't graceful, it wasn't pretty, but it was mine. And that's when I realized, platforms don't make you powerful, honesty does." She looked down for a beat, then up again. "Today, I run the Reform, not alone, with other women who, like me, were told to stay behind the camera. Now, we hold it, direct it, speak into it." She smiled, a full one this time. And we're not asking for permission anymore. Applause. Loud, steady, genuine. She stepped back. Pamela joined her. They shared a hug, not for the crowd, but for themselves. It was done. Later that day, Soma stood outside the hall, sipping chilled water as the Lagos heat settled on her skin. The sun was going down slowly, casting a golden glow on the tiled ground. That was when she saw her. Ify, standing near the back of the hall, sunglasses on, holding a black tote bag. She wasn't trying to be seen. She had come quietly. Soma didn't move. Ify walked toward her. Slowly, no entourage, no show, just Ify. They stood face to face for the first time in over a year. "Hi," Ify said, voice low. Soma looked at her, then nodded. Ify reached into her bag and brought out something, a small USB flash drive. "What's this?" Soma asked. "My own truth," she said. "Unedited, not for posting, just to leave with you. I wrote something, a story, about everything, from the day we met till now. I didn't post it, I just wanted you to have it." Soma took it. For a long moment they just stood there. No cameras, no noise. Then Ify added, I'm still healing, but I meant what I said. If ever there's room, not to be in front but to serve, I'll be ready. Soma nodded again. Not yes, not no, just peace. Then Ify turned and walked away. No hug, no tears, just closure. That night, Soma sat on her bed in a small hotel room. She plugged in the USB, opened the file. It was titled, "The Girl Who Chose Silence and Paid for It," by Ify-how. She didn't read it yet. She just stared at the screen. Then, slowly, she smiled. Back online, the Reform's YouTube subscriber count passed 100,000. They didn't celebrate it with a cake or fireworks, just a post that read, "We started in the dark, but we found our light. Thank you for walking with us." Tamara, meanwhile, sat at a co-working space in Surulere, editing a wedding video she had been hired to work on anonymously. She wasn't on Twitter anymore. No Instagram, no channel. Just her and her skills. Quiet, humble, learning again. She hadn't reached out to Soma, not because she didn't want to, but because, for the first time, she understood. Closure is earned, not demanded. She saved the final edit, named the file Peace Project 01.mp4. Maybe this was her beginning, too. As for Soma, she didn't rebuild Campus Queens. She left it as it was, an abandoned castle, standing as a memory of what was. Instead, she expanded the Reform into a mentorship hub, taught girls how to edit, run monetization classes, helped a 17-year-old with speech anxiety post her first spoken word video. She no longer needed to be trending. She was lasting. And finally, the girl who once stood behind the lens was standing for something that would never fade again.